All right, so I've already made this video once and I forgot to hit record, so this isn't going to be the same kind of vibe. But I'm just gonna try it, okay? So here I am. I've got to get going soon. At 9 a.m. I've got to get going. So I'm just doing a video now. I am in a one live trade, but I'm just trying to get out of the trading situation right now. And so I just want to conclude this video. I've had a good morning analyzing things, and so I just want to explain what I see. So here we are on the 1 hour. And we have mitigated our higher time frame daily range, broken structure, blah, blah, blah. Everyone knows this. We're sell primary, and we've whipped up into our sell primary, right? And so here we are inside of that. And the most significant thing that's happened is this whole push up, which looks very, very causey. As you can see, I've even added this line here to represent, because it just looks like liquidity. It doesn't mean it's going to get ran right now, but I do believe it will get ran at some point in the very near future, because it's just begging to be ran, really. And so, as was this, And so, anyway, I see that we've come up into a sell primary, and just before coming into the sell primary, we've created a buy primary. Range, initiate, break of structure. Then they came back down, took all that liquidity, and initiated away rather fiercely too. So I'm seeing that we've got a buy primary here, and so that's what we should be playing off of and have that expectation that will hold. However, I do understand also that this could become a sell primary. This is the best time for a primary to get taken out, is when they form them at like an opposing primary. So we're in a sell primary area. This is the best time to form a buy primary in order to get it sort of taken out. And like I said, it's the one and only time that I do really see them get taken out with speed and aggression as well, without having that reaction, and then they come back to react afterwards. So I'm not sure if that will happen or not, but that's what's going on there. So I see this, and I'm analyzing this buy primary, and I'm seeing it's just really range initiation mitigation. And the only thing of interest to me was that this was this order block right here was the only unmitigated order block in this entire move. So that was significant. So I drew that out and wrote that. And then as I saw price come down here, I believe it was creating cause before the OB mitigation. We've seen that happen a lot, and so especially like the higher time frame perspective as well. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, that could be what's going on here. It's just not hitting that order block because it wants to create more cause. And so as it's sort of bouncing up, I'm always expecting more shorts because I'm thinking we're going to run it. That wasn't the case on this order block here, and we'll go into that and talk about it. But and we'll talk about why that reacted there and what that meant and why I didn't see it. But why I didn't see it doesn't really matter, because now we do have a good understanding of what happened. So let's jump over to the lower time frame, and we'll talk about my trades. There's really only 2 trades to talk about, but there's on the buy side there's some interesting stuff that went on. Sorry for talking fast. If I'm going through it fast, it's just haven't done this for the second time now. I'm just sort of covering it as fast as I can. It's just how I want to do it. Okay, so anyway, remember we're in a higher time frame, point of interest, sell primary. And then I see this happen: range initiation, break a structure. They stack money, comes up, creates a sell primary, and then we get this funky thing happen. We get this range with no break a structure. And then it creates a sell primary on that. And I wrote this, I'm live right around here. I'm at the chart site, literally ready to trade around here. So this is sort of, while this was forming here, it was happening while I was analyzing higher time frame and whatnot. 5-minute look and everything else, maybe on different chart, not different by EU, but different by different time frame. Just looking at things differently. Anyway, I saw this occur and I go, everything looks good. Like it is a sell primary, but something is not quite right about it. There was no break of structure. So that could mean that this is a liquidity creation kind of a thing, right? That was my anticipation. And I drew these sort of hardcore dollar signs, but nonetheless, price is initiating away. Then we see this valid sell primary range. And this is interesting because like I said, I wasn't expecting this to be a mitigation, but I felt something was up with this. And so we had a range initiation break structure, and then this cell range formed, and it was pretty beautiful. The way I entered on this was no reaction, no reaction, no reaction, no reaction. But look at these 15-second candles, 15 second, 15 second. So the moment I saw the low of any one of these candles go, that's a change in character for me. And so that's exactly what I did. I just entered immediately on short, obviously as soon as that this candle broke, because it showed me a change in character, like momentum shift, and I was expecting a reaction. This is a valid range, so I can totally play it. Sure enough, I got my reaction by about, I don't know, about here-ish, somewhere around here. I'm break even, just because I could feel that something wasn't quite right here. The move back up, the V shape, it looks very wicky to me. And so I was thinking this is most likely going to be a wick, and this actually could be buy side, is where we should be at. And so break even, I get tagged out right here. And sure enough, they initiate away, giving me more FOMO. But by the time the sell primary is taken there, now I'm thinking longs, and now I'm trying to understand what the hell happened here. Well, lo and behold, let's go to our buy side. Lo and behold, where was it? Let me just get my bearings. It was right here, right? So there it is. Okay. So lo and behold, why is this the mitigation? I'm expecting price to come back here. Here's a lower time frame buy primary on a 1 minute chart that was formed within that last known OB that we can see on the 5 minute. Okay, so a buy primary was formed within there on a lower time frame. So I'm like, oh, fully expecting this to come. Lower time frame buy primary has formed within the last known unmitigated higher time frame RIMC. And so and I wrote this, what I don't understand was the buy primary mitigation, and I was expecting order block, not higher time frame buy primary open. Let me explain that. I was expecting price to come into here, into this buy primary. So why on earth would it stop here? Scroll out, boom. Here's that higher time frame primary, and literally it just stops at the open. Yeah, sure enough, it's an order block, a weak looking one, but it's an order block nonetheless. And so I'm thinking, oh, they're just creating cores, so we should be looking for shorts. And yet what's actually occurring here is that this became the actual mitigation from the open of the buy primary. And I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't looking for it. Let's go down to 15 seconds. 15 seconds, here we are. And so by the time that sell primary got taken out, this one right here, the valid range, let's pull that over. Right here, right? Here's my sell primary. Sorry, here's my sell primary. From this low to this high is my sell primary. And then as soon as that break of structure occurs, I'm now thinking longs. And so what am I doing, right? So we're thinking longs, we think this is the mitigation. We've broken structure, and I analyze it. And so I see a range initiation, range initiation, range initiation, and here's where I see the range initiation break of structure. And I saw this live as well, and I drew this on live as well, and I expected this to become a buy primary. Having just taken out a sell primary, I'm expecting new buy primaries to form, and I see this one right here, and we get a range initiation breaker structure, comes back in, so it's formed, right? So I'm thinking to myself, this is the low of the buy primary, this is the high. Remember, it hasn't closed yet. We don't get a close until up here. But then we form a new lower time frame buy primary at the bottom end of a lower time frame of a buy primary. Let me try and get all my words out. And so I'm all day long, I'm like this. All day freaking long, I am like this. 2 pip, 3 pip, whatever it was, right? I'm right here. And price didn't come back. What actually happened is we broke structure up here and then came straight back, and it was this candle that mitigated the buy primary and then initiated away. I'm thinking that this was cause and that we're going to come back down. Bummer. Price initiates aggressively up through a transitional order block, which is right here, which I drew on immediately as well. And I'm expecting that to be the new mitigation. I'm not even expecting price to come back to any of these at this point. I'm expecting this, but if price does want to come back, it can. Again, what is the purpose of this being stacked here? I believe the purpose of this being stacked here was for this mitigation, to add liquidity. And right now we're coming up to my buy primary, right? The unmitigated buy primary right now, and this is exactly where my take profit is as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see if I get it. My take profit is, well, we're inches away, not even inches, like millimeters away. Something like here is my buy prime, my take profit. And so I'm obviously hoping we get get taken through that before we react out of here, because this could cause a big kind of reaction. Anyway, I'm leaving mine fully open until it's a 10-hour trade, and I'll show you, we'll talk about it in a second on the sell side. But I understood all of this. I understood that this happened. And then in here, I wasn't really ready for this. I didn't see it. I was kind of looking, well, what are they doing? I was kind of thinking to myself, like, what are they doing here? Yes, the Toblerone is in play. We've mitigated it, and I can see sort of initiations away, but I didn't really understand this until we started initiating away. And that's when I started to see this. And then I saw, oh shit. Range, initiation, break a structure, comes in, forms a primary, don't need anything else, just enter. All you need to do as soon as it breaks structure is enter up here, right? 2 pips would have been golden, all the rest of it. And I think the actual buy primary formed at the low of, it was basically equal lows, but whether or not that candle happened, let's see on a 1 second, let's see what happened. Yeah, see, that's filthy, really. Because as soon as it breaks structure, you might have put your order here. I don't know if you'd have been that fast, because that was just 2 seconds. I would have kind of wanted to enter here. We always want to enter under liquidity if possible, but because this is such a small range, it didn't really matter, because your stop covers like 3/4 of it, if not more, and that's on a 2 pip, and we could have gone a 3 pip, right? So I could have actually gotten this as well. Let's say I got that on a 2 pip. That may, no, it wouldn't have closed. That would not have closed. So. There's no way. So that would have sucked. Big ballsack dick face is what that would have done. Because that would have literally come up to my take profit and gone, nah, and then fucked off. So anyway, all is good. Analyze I saw what was happening here. Then price gets up here, it breaks structure, and it gets up to this high. And it was at that point when I go over to my sell side, analyzing, and I'm expecting sells. I'm expecting sells. Yes, I understand that we've had a reaction out of this zone, but I'm fully expecting another sell. Why not? It's a Wednesday, and they're going to BFI are going to do whatever the heck they want to do. So let's have a little look. So I start seeing this. I see a big range, and then it comes down. Then I see this nice range here, range, initiation. This was just a golden setup. Range, initiation, break of structure, buy, sell primary forms right here. Still not entered, right? Still not entered. I'm just letting things happen and unfold and play out for me. Then I see this, the break of structure on the sell primary, and I see stacked liquidity here. This is the only thing that did kind of worry me, because I was kind of thinking to myself, well, we haven't had any reaction except for this. We did have this one reaction. Remember, this is 15 seconds. And so I kind of that gave me hesitation, but I still went, no, I'm just going to go for it. And so I put my order live limit up here, risk entry. Just wanted to cover the stop at the top. Got the initiation away. By the time I initiated away down here, I went break even. Here's what I'm thinking is conclusive of a reaction, right? So as we're doing this isn't reacting. This is just how price moves up. It doesn't have to just go in one straight swing, like, one bar or a couple of bars. This is exactly how price moves. So up, down, up, didn't break structure. So what is a reaction? And this is really what I conclude a reaction to be. It's when we have that break of structure. As soon as we have a break in structure, that's when we've experienced a reaction, I believe, on a sell primary or buy primary, on a primary range. So anyway, that's how I got into the market. And then there's my trade initiating away rather beautifully. And what am I doing? I'm holding out for 10R which is right down here. Of course, we came super close to it. I was really hoping we could have gotten it taken out live on camera. It's not going to happen on this one, and that's okay. 10R potential. My expectation then, what do I expect? I expect that one of two things is happening. I expect that this is actually going to turn into a sell primary. That's one thing that could happen. But my bias is that we are going to, we've created a buy primary, and I think we're coming down here below this candle, which just touched the open. I believe we're coming down to grab more liquidity, or at least liquidity from in and around this area. So jumping back to the lower time frame then, where's liquidity? There's only liquidity in a couple places. One here, plenty here, plenty here. And so I'm suspicious that this might come down, break structure down here, and react from this range. And look at the kind of order stacking that we've got going on down here as opposed to here. So I think that if they do want more liquidity before they're going to initiate through this range, this is where they're going to come and grab it from. Sort of, one below, at least below these areas. And where's my take profit? Below these areas. Yes, it's below this liquidity, and this could actually become the range. So we'll see. We'll see if this becomes like a buy primary from here. But I'm not going to be trading anymore. That's it for me today. Had a good day. Analyzed the market in a really good way, in my opinion. And I'm doing okay. So look, here we've got a range initiation. This could become a sell primary. Let's just draw it on, since this is our sells. Let's get this back over here. So we've got a range. We've got hardcore liquidity on the top. Why? Because we broke structure. Where did we break structure? We broke structure here at that level that I was just talking about. Might be that we actually get the break right now. If we do, that'd be awesome, but if not, it's okay. And so what could this be that's forming right here? What could this be? It could be a sell primary, right? And so where's structure on the way down? Structure is here. So we'd be looking for a range, break a structure. Here's a range. That's a sharp in, sharp out. So it could be the high right there. So there's a range, break structure. Is there any other? Here's another one right there. So we've got a range. And if this halts here, this could become a sell primary, right? So if price does, taking liquidity from the top here as well, this could definitely become a sell primary. Because we've got range initiation, break of structure, range initiation, break of structure twice, and then we're just looking for, if you can break this low, and of course this low too, then we've got two new sell primaries that formed in a very, very good area to initiate prices lower. This would be sort of where we'd likely see the initiation and break of that level here, and they could be creating that because they're anticipating that. They could also be, don't forget, none of this is actually closed. So all of this right here could actually be just fluff, and this could all be just from the buy perspective. So we'd need to jump over to the buy side as well to reanalyze this. I'm just going to leave this ticking for, I'm not even going to talk, I don't think, but just want to leave this ticking just for a couple of seconds just to see if we can get that break, the breakdown here. It definitely looks like it's threatening it. And we're just going to sort of see, I just want to see if we break to the upside, say this candle here, I want to get out, not get out, but I want to stop the video because there's no point waiting longer. But it's just, I just want to see if we can sort of hold this real quick, because we've just liquidated and mitigated, so it's a really good time for us to potentially form that sell primary. So while we're just waiting for a second, it does look like it's potentially working out in my favor. But just something I want to talk about is a lot of you might be thinking this, and I thought this a long time back. Why don't you just get out now? You know what I mean? Like, just take 8R, whatever it is, 9R, 9R, something like that. Why don't you just do it now? And then there's no stress, and you're done for the day, and you've banked some profit. The reason I'm not willing to do that is because I'm not willing to change my mind with my take profits and my stops. And the discipline required to do that is different. Yes, I can just change my stops and my take profits. I know I can adjust them. It's a click of a button. It's not that hard. But it's the discipline in your mind that keeps me wanting to continually do the right thing. And by do the right thing, I mean do the thing that's right for me. And what's right for me is just to hold out for 10R no matter what. I don't want to keep changing stops and take profits like that, because I've noticed in the past when I do that with my trading, it doesn't work out in my favor. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have taken profit. I could have gotten a full 10R, or I could have gotten, more. Occasionally it'll work out. Yeah, I'll, like here, occasionally I would have, maybe taken profit right at the bottom. If I saw this and saw sort of, the rejection, I know we're in a buy primary. That's what's concerning to me. I know we're in that buy primary. And that's kind of what was giving me, not anxiety, but like a little bit of questions, what the heck's going on? Like, will we take out the buy primary or will we bounce from the buy primary? And so for me, it's not about wanting to move take profits and adjust my stop losses to match like the live situation. It's more, it feels better to me to want to stick to my guns, stick to something I've said I'm going to do. And that is what I said I was going to do before I came out with the trade idea. Before I took the trade, I had I had my risk set and I had my take profit set. And I don't budge either one of those, except for my risk. I do minimize my risk at this point in time. I do minimize my risk as much as I possibly can by changing from risk to break even. That's the only thing. But I'm not interested in continually doing that. At some point, I'm going to get to a point I feel where I'm going to keep my risk open. It feels like the right thing to do. I'm going to be identifying really, really high probability areas. And those areas I will be willing to like keep my risk open, because I see how I get stopped out a lot too as soon as I change to break even. And so that's something in the future we're going to discuss. Or it's going to happen, and you're going to see with my live trading as it evolves. So anyway, looking at it now, look what the hell happened. This took bulls to hold, and I'm glad we got this all on camera. This took fucking bulls to hold, because yes, we've got look how freaking close it is to my take profit. Like, we're right there, and look at the reaction. It even broke structure. In the past, I would have been freaking the fuck out. Oh my god, it's breaking structure. That's when I would have probably gotten out, right there, right at the top. Back in the day, oh no, and then what would I have taken? What would I have taken instead? 6.5R versus 10R, right? And it's just about knowing what the market's doing and feeling it and seeing it and being a present and part of it and understanding what the market's doing. And so look, live, we watched a sell primary form live. And why would a sell primary form? Because it's in a buy primary. It's a perfect time for one to form. So it's either going to be sustainable. This is going to sustain the lower prices, or this is going to become cause for the higher prices. Buy primaries stacked like this especially is kind of a high risk thing for me. I don't really want to be seeing two back to back. It could mean a very bearish thing though. It could also mean that, hey, a crap load of orders are in here and we're going to initiate down far and far away. Or it could mean that we're about to initiate up. And this is the stacking of cores. Either way, doesn't matter. We've taken our R, had a great day. We can analyze further and do more analyzing another time. But for right now, 9 o'clock, perfect time for me to go. Love, aloha to anyone watching. Thank you so much. Hope you're making absolute sick R and just living your dream life. Thank you for watching and take care of yourselves.